Welcome to my channel. So today let's learn about second half part of ECG. So if you have not seen my first part, I'll recommend you to see the first part first and then follow this video. So let's begin. So in previous video we saw how to calculate heart rate, heart rhythm, cardiac access, P wave and also PR interval. So moving on to a sixth step, which is QRS complex. For that the width should be less than 3 small boxes. Moving on to the morphology of Q wave, which is a negative deflection prior to R wave, and it should contain less than one small box. R wave, which is a positive deflection containing 5 small boxes. And last is S wave, which is a negative deflection again containing 3 small squares. Have a look on the position of vector. So vectors are placed from right to left. So most positive deflection will be seen in the vector which are placed towards the left side. So as you can see over here, in vector v1, v2 and v3, S wave is greater than R wave. But in following L4, L5 and L6, R wave is greater than S wave, which a normal ECG should have. So moving on to the abnormalities of QRS complex. So if QRS complex is more than 3 small boxes, it suggests ventricular conduction problem. So it could be right bundle branch block or left bundle branch block. Right bundle branch block is mostly due to occlusion of left anterior coronary artery leading to myocardial infarction. So for that we'll have a look on V1, V2 and V3, which will give a typical RSR pattern as you can see over here, and V6 and V5 will give a sluggish S wave. So this is the normal V1, V2, V3 pattern as you expect in normal ECG, and this is the typical RSR pattern which is giving in V1, V2 and V3 and sluggish S wave as you can see in V5 and V6. Moving on to the left bundle branch block, which is mostly due to acute MI or coronary artery disease. So, QRS complex is more than 3 small boxes. Negative deflection of QRS wave in V1, a long deflection as you can see over here. And in V6, we see a typical M-shape RSR complex. So, this is the normal ECG. And this is the abnormal ECG showing us left bundle branch block. As you can see, typical M-shaped RSR wave in V6 and a long negative deflection of QRS complex in V1. So moving on to the QS pattern. So if Q wave which is wider and deeper than one small box is pathology, so usually QS pattern indicates previous MI except in lead 1, V1 and V2 where normally it is present. So this is the QS pattern as you can see over here where R wave is absent indicating previous MI. So moving on to the seventh step, which is ST segment, which lies between the end of the S wave and beginning of the T wave. So it should be isoelectrical line in healthy individual, that is neither deflecting upward nor downward. So ST segment deviation upward or downward is quite important because it suggests myocardial infarction. So if the infarction is in the lateral wall, lead 1, AVL and also vector V5 and V6 will show the changes. If the infarction is in the anterior wall, V1 to V4 will show the changes. And if the infarction is in the inferior wall, lead 2, 3 and AVL will show the changes. So in ST elevation, there is transmural injury, which means whole thickness of myocardium is involved. There is something known as J point where QRS complex meets the ST segment. So J point should be always at the baseline, but whenever it is elevated more than 2 mm, it leads to ST elevation. So moving on to the ST depression. So whenever the J point is below the baseline more than 0.5 mm in two consecutive lead, it leads to ST depression. So there are three types. First being upsloping, second being down sloping, and third being horizontal. So the most important being the down sloping, and up sloping is not that significant. So moving on to the last step, which is T wave. So normal T wave usually has an amplitude of less than 5 mm in the precordial lead with upward or positive deflection. So negative deflection can be seen in AVR and also in V1, V2 and V3 sometimes, which is normal. So moving on to the abnormalities of T wave, first being tall T wave, that is tall tented T wave, as you can see over here. The most common cause is hyperkalemia, and second being hyperactive ST segment elevation myocardial infarction. The second being inverted T wave like this, which is most commonly seen in myocardial ischemia, and it is normal in AVR and vector V1, V2 and V3 as discussed before. Next being the diphasic T wave like this, which you can make out over here also. So which is most commonly in ischemia and hypokalemia. So the last abnormality being the flat T wave, which is mostly seen in ischemia or in pericardial effusion. Hope you got the gesture of how to read ECG. So let's do a recap of this video. So first we saw QRS complex. So if the width of the QRS complex is more than 3 small square, it might lead to right bundle branch block. So you will get a typical RSR pattern in V1, and in left bundle branch block you will get a typical M-shape RSR pattern in V6. Moving on to next, so we saw QS pattern. So presence of this might be an indicator of previous myocardial infarction. Then we saw ST segment. So there is an elevation or there is a depression. Then we saw T wave. In T wave, we saw tall tented T wave, inverted T wave, and biphasic T wave, and also the flat T wave. Thank you. Hope you like this video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and share your views in the comment section below. Till then, bye.